and now the woke comic thing isn't working either. And oh my God, I saw your piece the other day
on Marc Maron.
Marc Maron, because I've been looking at
He's
this.
Like this. It's like you're going down a cliff, you know, an edge of a rock, and you're just grasping. And there's a root, and you grab the root, and you're like, the roots suck.
Right.
He's going down the mountain.
He's trying to grab at anything. Joe Rogan, the Rogosphere sucks. The woke is great. You know, these comics that are talking about trans are
Don't
terrible.
kick the trans when they're down. Are they really down?
Yeah.
I don't think they're that down.
When did that happen?
Yeah. When did kids, again, they always go, trans are like 7% of the population max, which they're not. Authentic trans people, which I believe in. I think you can be convinced you're born in the wrong body. I think it's 0.01% of the population.
Yeah, it's like an alien.
Yeah, you're a fucking freak.
You're a complete anomaly.
Young kids under 12, I think a third say that they are non-gender conforming.
Yeah, at least non-binary.
Non-binary.
You know?
So it's an issue.
Right.
And
which
he's
is
like,
a trend, a fad, a thing to get attention.
You, Mark, you cock. I met him. I did his podcast. He wouldn't release it.
Oh, right. I was wondering if he was the guy that wouldn't release the podcast that you did with him. Yeah. Well, why would he? You probably made way too much sense. It was against everything he believes in. So why let the people see that?
And he's a total lech who, like, he his assistants, his interns, anyone he works with, and then dumps them. And then he has that Jew thing where he's like, I'm a mess. It's not you. It's, I don't know what's the matter with me.
The neurotic kind of, that whole thing.
You're great. Anyway, I got to go fuck another 25-year-old now. Goodbye.
Yeah. Who is the guy from Curb? Richard Lewis. Another one.
Total
the
Richard
neurotic,
Lewis. Perfect example,
Jewish guy. He's like, oh, I don't know. What am I doing?
I got to go get different blowjobs. It's not your fault, though. It's me. I just...
Right.
I need different blowjobs. I don't know what it is.
Yeah. He had a podcast, very successful. He was one of the first podcasts to have the president of the United States on. He had Barack Obama on his fucking podcast. He had the #1 podcast for quite a while, and then, things change. We all know that, and that was it. So now he just has such animosity toward Rogan and the rest of, the podcasters today that are really getting heat, and he sees what they're talking about, and it's not this 100% left-wing liberal drivel, so they're Nazis. So that means the country has embraced Nazis and fascists because that's the podcast. He's so fucking one-sided, of one mindset, and stupid. He's not a smart guy.
He's a Queens kid before it was pachydermed. He's a Boston kid, which is, there's nowhere whiter than Boston. And he just loves people he's never met. And his attitude is,
I love that.
You fucking ruined the country with your racism. And the thing about Gen Z is, like, when they hear Hitler, it's Pol Pot to them.
Hi, this is Anthony Cumia.
Hello, I'm Gavin McInnes.
And together we're Compound Censored.
And we would like you to subscribe with this deal using this promo code right below me right now.
Do it, because it's very entertaining.
It's some weird random character from history. So if I was like 19 and people were bitching about Pol Pot all the time, I'd be like, I love Pol Pot. Fuck Cambodia. Yeah. They needed a fucking real leader. Just to fuck you.
It's a fuck you to them.
I'm a Pol Pot head. I love them.
Love Pol Pot. Stack them skulls up higher, motherfucker.
Shoot him in the head. Was that Khmer Rouge? I guess was Vietnam, right? But
Khmer Rouge was Cambodia.
Was that Cambodia? I love the Khmer Rouge. I'm a Khmer Rouge motherfucker.
Yeah, I love Khmer Rouge.
And then he has Theo Von, and he's like, yeah, I love Hitler. And there's a tinge of like, fuck the Southerners in there.
Yes.
He's got that Northern Yankee thing of like, Southerners are so fucking stupid they'd have Hitler on their show.
Yeah, yeah.
He really feels like he's fledgling. Oh, I'm such a mess. I don't know. And he keeps calling the anti-woke shit hack, yet he won't shut up about fucking Hitler. Is there anything more hack than Hitler?
Hitler is the hackiest fucking thing you could talk about right now. And then when he says, that liberals, he goes, we did this, we're so annoying, we turned the country fascist. Yeah. No, you're right about the first part. You are so annoying, but you just turned the country normal again.
Yeah.
Like where people go, we don't think children should be sexually mutilated because at 7 years old, they can make a life-changing decision. That, by the way, is hate, fascism, transphobia. Instead of it just being, that sounds insanely reasonable. But, they annoyed us so much that we just started goose-stepping down the street again.
We're just returning to 2004, really.
Yeah.
And the thing I don't get about these people is like they're screaming and crying and yelling in their cars and all that. Are you not surprised that you lost? Like, you shouldn't have had the torch for this long.
Yeah.
If
you
Sid
had the
Vicious
torch for way too long.
If Sid Vicious had a late night talk show and it got canceled, surely he'd be like, "Oh no, that was coming. I fucking told everyone to go fuck themselves." Clearly, it's not going to last, guys. Like, you're a ridiculous joke. Yes, it's over, but you should be happy it lasted this long.
Yeah. And I got to say, especially as far as I know this country, because I don't really know Europe or any other countries, but especially in America, the politics changes quicker than anything. I mean, you could see such a passionate political base on one side, and 2 years later, relatively short period of time, it's completely the opposite now.
Yeah.
These people didn't age out of their ideas in 2 years. Nothing happened, this groundbreaking thing that made everyone go, oh, wow, I sure fucked up last election. Now I'm going to, the midterms, I'm going to do this. So that is a real fickle group, the political part of this country. So it changes. And then when the politics change, art changes, comedy, what people find funny isn't funny anymore, and vice versa. Movies, TV shows, it all changes. So to this fucking idiot to think he could go around for his entire life and be unbelievably relevant and cutting edge and funny, what a narcissistic point of view that is.
Yeah. Total megalomaniac.
Yeah.
And now that he's obsolete, he's mad at the world.
Yes.
Yeah.
I love it.
It is great.
I love watching people get angry at the way the world works, how it affected them, and how angry they've gotten. And, they continue doing the same thing. Look, Gavin, me, you, we've been through some shit as far as our careers go. Times have changed. We've been victim to it, and we've done well regarding our careers as far as how the world was, what the ideas of America at least was at the time. You have to adapt to it. There is a certain amount of change that you do. And look, I'm not going to say that aging doesn't change your perspective on things. It does. But if you can't wrap all that up and adapt to it and then put something out that is still, you hope and pray, relevant, just whining about it, about how you've been fucked over by the world and that's why you're not getting the views anymore or this, it's a pathetic fucking road to be on.
Yeah, I feel like we had a pretty good sense of humor while we were persona non grata. Like, we laughed about it and said, this is fucking retarded. Okay. Yeah, I'm a Nazi now. Okay, I'm a Nazi.
And have some, a lot of self-awareness, be self-critical. Even if like I wouldn't apologize for anything I did or said that got me in trouble, but I could be critical about it. I've said like maybe I could have handled it better without coming out like I'm sorry for what I said, but maybe going out and having a few whiskeys at karaoke before that episode happened might have made things a little different.
I never knew that. You've been drinking and doing karaoke that night?
Yeah. I was down at that place in Times Square. It's fucking awesome. Yeah, it's what I do. But you then have to go, okay, where am I now? And what do I need to do to, at least get started again, get on that road, get running again? Not just sit there and go, hey, the Negroes ruined my career.
Well, what we did was we went behind paywalls and said, if you want to see me, you got to fucking give me your credit card, unfortunately, because that's where we fucking live in this day and age.
We had to at that point. We were persona non grata to any other platform that takes care of that shit, so we had to do it ourselves.
My biggest beef about, and I'm sure the same with you, but the allegations, I said this, Tucker was going to have me on his show. I think he chickened out. But he goes, his booking agent was like, what do you want to talk about? And I go, I would like the allegations to be true. Like, I am definitely an Islamophobe. I don't think Islam is compatible with the Western society. It just Hindus, we can work with it. Blacks, everyone. There's some that are hard to sort of crowbar in. Sikhs, but it works. Muslims, no, not compatible. Can't come in. Sorry.
Right.
That's a very controversial belief. I think women should not be in the workforce, with very few exceptions. They're much happier at home. They're designed for home life. They should not be astronauts. They should not be politicians. There's exceptions. Barbara Corcoran's great. Maggie Thatcher was great. I don't want a society where we don't allow for exceptions, but the general vibe should be you're at home.
Physically intensive jobs, they have no business being in.
They're ruining everything with this myth. Education, I think 5% of the population should go to post-secondary education and go to college. The other 95% should be like it was in the 70s, like just learn a trade or something. Mass communication, that's what my wife has a degree in, mass comm. I go, what is that? And she goes, I don't know. I go, you have a degree in it. What does it mean? Is the internet mass comm? That's a mass communicating.
Yeah, true. It wasn't in the old days. I guess it meant radio or television or some type of mass communication. But now it's a dinosaur of a
I recognize that these here. I have a very controversial view. Kids should not go to school at all. Not homeschool. No school. They should be in a park. Cool. In Norway, they call it forest kindergarten, and they're just like. And they can go up to like 10th grade. They're just in the forest all day. Yes.
Now, while that sounds good, what about some of the basic things you need to know as far as math and English or English? Look at me. What a fucking American I am. Speak English over there.
Yeah, you got to learn English in Norway. Okay, I have an exception to that. So there's a schoolhouse about the size of this studio that can handle 30 kids out of, 5%. So 3,000 kids. I'm not good at math when the camera's on me.
Oh, interesting. I see where you're going.
If a little nerd comes up and he's Anthony Cumia, and he's like, hey, aviation seems to be getting worse. Hasn't Boeing's DEI hires affected the quality of the aircrafts? And you're like, good question, little boy. And then we take you into a room and we bring in like aviation experts, pilots. We show you like cross sections of planes. And now someone who's showed an interest, we pursue that interest.
Okay.
But if you don't show an interest, it's soccer for you.
It's just a waste of time. Go out there, learn about nature, learn how to swing an axe.
We have these fucking kids. Like I've told this story 100 times, but when my 12-year-old has his friends over who are all black, because I'm known as a racist, so only black families will allow play dates.
Interesting.
These guys rip up the house for 12 hours straight. They make up games. They're jumping off. Hey, get down from there. They're in the tree. They're sending the basketball down there. Hey, get back. Like, I can't even monitor them because it's too much. I see them, like, drowning each other in the pool. Like, stop.
Holy shit.
You put that in a box, in a little fucking... Like, put a puppy in a shoebox while you're at it. They sit there confined to this. And what are they fucking learning? The alphabet? An adult, a 14-year-old boy could learn the alphabet in 3 days.
Yes.
So what? It's just arts and crafts.
I got to be honest. I truly believe, and I might not have a memory that goes back to 3rd grade and what I learned on that yellow double-lined paper as far as penmanship goes, but the vast, vast majority of everything I've learned of merit, anything that I've used in my life, I learned on my own without school. How you balance a checkbook, all the, basic mathematics you might learn in school, 1 + 1. I got it. But once you're out and it's used practically, that's when you really have to absorb it. A teacher trying to shove knowledge into you, you just push it away. It's annoying. I want to be somewhere else. I want to watch Gilligan's Island. When you need to learn something, you will sit down and learn it.
College should start at 30 at the earliest. Can you imagine you and I in college right now?
Oh, be awesome.
You do that thing. Remember that thing you'd hold your arm up?
Oh, you have to hold your arm. And then you'd also go, because you knew the answer.
But wait a minute. Only 2% of Southerners own slaves. Why would they passionately go to war to preserve something that they had no part of? It's like me going to war to preserve Lamborghinis and $20 million yachts. Like, I'm never going to be on a yacht like that. Why would I want to die of diarrhea to save some billionaire's yacht?
Rich plantation owner. Right.
That doesn't seem logical to me. And wasn't that a Holocaust of sorts?
Hey, I work for WABC Radio. I'm not getting into that argument, Gavin. I've already been accused of...
I'm glad we segued to this.
Getting the call.
I got a great letter from a guy, a Canadian doctor.
It read, "Dear Casey Kasem."
and he goes, taxes in Canada are approaching 50%. America's not much better. It's like 49%. And he goes, because I make, I don't know what he makes, like let's say over 200 grand a year. So I'm up into the 50% zone, which means that for half a year, I'm working for the government for free. Oh, terrible. And he goes, how is that? That's slavery. Someone owns me for half the year. And then he goes, I know cotton picking and stuff, there was a season for cotton. So did the slaves work 12 months a year? Or was with cotton, the preamble and the postamble, was that more like 6 months a year? So I'm a doctor in Canada. I'm a slave.
You're a slave.
They can't whip me.
I think they assume, though, that after the cotton season, the rest of the year was spent being whipped and put in a hot box.
Well, I'm glad you brought that up because I've been reading Bullwhip Days.
Oh.
Bullwhip Days. And it's fascinating. It's firsthand accounts of slaves. And yeah, some of them are real bad. Like, they whip me so bad that I can't walk none. Never again. But some of them are like, Master was so nice on Christmas Day. We had possum and chicken and all manner of things.
All manner of things.
So goddamn yummy.
Mr. Candy was great.
Yes. There's plenty of that. It's written in their vernacular, though. Oh, I got to read you this. Ready for this one? So some of them are super, like, vulgar. Like, damn, lots of coming around and they told their dicks off and they tell motherfuckers to get lost. But some of them are quite articulate. So this articulate woman.
Words back then? That's
what?
Interesting. They had those words back then?
Well, I'm exaggerating.
30 words?
I'm exaggerating. But here's a Rachel Cruz. She goes, do you know the poor white folks of the South mostly had a harder time than the colored folks under slavery because the other white folks did not want them around. Many poor white folks, when she says other white folks, she means like the plantation owners.
Right.
Many poor white folks would have starved if it hadn't been for the slaves who stole food from their masters to feed the white folks. And the problem with the white slaves was the black slaves would go, to get away from them, they'll bite you and give you a head full of lice.
Wow. Lice is like a big thing.
Yeah, I guess they didn't get lice because their hair is aerated.
Yeah.
We had matted hair that could hide lice.
Yeah, the lice can hide right in there. You know, I guess the poor whites, too, they didn't have this shelter and food that were traded for your day labor. You know, the slaves didn't have to pay rent to the plantation owner. They got quarters, they got their beds, they got their food. They just had to work for nothing. But a poor white family, they didn't have that.
No,
they
these
didn't
are
have
poor
money for
white
food
slaves, Anthony. These are slaves. They had the same quarters. They were just white slaves.
White slaves? See, this is something I've never heard of, Gavin.
Oh, yeah, Irish. Yeah, and no one liked them because they would get so hot in the sun, pre-sunscreen, that they would die. They'd get blisters on them. And the owners were like, for fuck's sakes, you got a bunch of blisters on your neck again? Yeah.
So blacks just made better slaves.
They were literally better slaves. They were higher up on the chain. And we were just like blistering up a storm being like, I'm trying. I put a cloth on my neck. I'm trying. I'm sorry.
No Irish slave is singing a little tune as he's picking for 12 hours in the hot sun.
He was just crying his eyes out because he was such a fucking low quality slave.
Yeah, low quality. Not getting the work out of him. He's just a burden.
Yeah. And the New York Times totally denies that thing existed. I think they became indentured servants because they would die out in the fields. So they're like, for fuck's sakes, get him in here, like moving dishes around and shit. I'm sick of this. Right. Fucking lice-ridden loser.
You a house Mick.
House Mick.
God damn. Yeah, I didn't know that. A couple of things I did want to get to off of one of the sheets, Gavin.
Okay.
To discuss with you. Of course, let me see if I can find it. Oh, we got to the Marc Maron thing, which was just fucking fantastic.
I fucking hate him. I don't just hate Marc Maron. I hate what he personifies.
Yeah.
This kvetching hypocrite.
Yeah, under the guise of being a comedian, like the people that are supposed to be the most like, take it in stride. I could see humor in everything. No, he's just a liberal douchebag. Remember, he was one of the shows on Air America.
Oh yeah,
liberal.
I was,
when
I was pals with all those guys back then. Jeanine Garofalo, David Cross. David Cross wasn't on it, but Jeanine Garofalo, Sam Cedar, Marc Maron, and they all knowingly admitted that it was a scam, and it was a pyramid scheme where they were inflating their value and they were getting money from some billionaire who they were fucking over, and they were gleefully laughing about it. Yep. I remember Sam Cedar gleefully laughing to David, who I could say terrible things about David Cross. He is one of the most moral people I ever met. He never cheated on his girlfriend. He never fucking fucked anyone over. We would go on vacation. He would take the money from the vacation and give it to like war vets. I think it's because his dad was such a shitbag that he was determined to like do the opposite of that.
But he disowned you for your political ideology. Yes, so fuck him.
He's not that moral. But I remember Sam was pushing the whole like, this is a scam. And I remember David being like, I don't want to hear about this. Can you not tell me? And Mark and Jeanine Garofalo were part of that. And then when I met Marc Maron, before I did the podcast, I met him at like a bar with David in like early aughts. And his big bit at the time, his big hit was these young girls, like these 15-year-olds, they look at me like I'm a monster. And I'm a viable person. I'm a sexual person. And they look at me like I'm a nothing, which I felt that way. Like some 20-year-old girl bumped into me in Manhattan and she's like, sorry, sir. And I'm like, sir, you mean fellow young person. Like we all feel it. Right?
Exactly.
Yeah, I'm not sir. My dad's sir. I'm only 55.
That's why I walk around with my bank balance stuck to my head when I know some girls will be around.
So he was taking advantage of that part of the, like, what we all experience. And then the end of his bit is, of course I want to fuck a 15-year-old. That's why there's a law. Now, okay, I'm okay with raunchy comedy, edgy comedy, but if you say, I'm dying to fuck 15-year-olds, you can't then get on your moral high horse and talk about, like, these Nazis who are immoral and they ostracize the trans community and immigrants and stuff. You're admitting you're a fucking disgusting pervert like the rest of us. Shut your fucking mouth. That's what it comes down to.
Yeah, I remember when Air America came out, because it was when Rush Limbaugh had just really started taking off, and right-wing radio, Bill Clinton had been elected, and people were just like, oh, fuck this guy. So it was huge for right-wing radio. And again, Rush was huge. So they thought, hey, we could do this. We'll just do the left-wing version. And yes, some millionaire decided to just burn money by getting the likes of these liberals. They're just not as entertaining. They don't have the audience that has a passion for it.
Imagine Rush Limbaugh. Here's an easy one. Janine Garofalo and Rush Limbaugh are in a room. What's the population of Australia? What's the population of Canada? What's the population of California? What's the population of Israel? Like, just go through I talked about this with Alex Jones once, who, by the way, nails every population perfectly. Just go through populations. Like, you don't fucking care about the world you're bitching about if you don't know the base. How many illegals are there? That's a very controversial question.
Yeah.
There's a million answers. Ann Coulter's, I think, is a reigning expert on why she thinks it's 35 million.
And I don't doubt that at all.
You know, the left says 12. I say 50 now, post Biden. But it's an interesting open subject. I guarantee you, Marc Maron, Sam Cedar, Janine Garofalo, David Cross have the most retarded numbers. They probably will say 12 million, which is from, like, Bill Clinton's fucking government a million years ago. And then you bring up the whole concept of, like, well, what about their kids? Well, they're citizens. Okay, well, are they assimilated? Like,
great.
There's a gray area here.
Yeah, not assimilated, not citizens, if you ask me. I don't know. I think the basic idea that was behind that many, many, many years ago was completely different than people breaking their water as they cross the Rio Grande, trying to squeeze that kid out on American land so that they have an anchor baby.
Or Chinese flying into the country, staying at hotels designated for this purpose, giving birth, and then flying out as soon as the baby's born.
The citizenship thing. It's been bastardized, like every other thing that initially started out with maybe some nobility to the idea, and it's all been bastardized into this just abuse of the system, and we're the bad guys for pointing it out.
Our first were not black, they were Italians. And every law is based on Italians. So the nonna and the papa who come here and they give birth to the little Italian boy, they should be citizens. That's what birthright citizenship is based on. Even fucking child support. It's based on the nonna cooking the spaghetti every day. He leaves her. She has no anything but lasagna. So give her money, because what's she gonna do? Work at Chase? Start a hedge fund? All she knows is pasta.
Stirring the sauce.
Stirring the sauce. And that was beautiful, by the way. I'm saying, like, 70s, great laws, great Italian laws. And now other people are like, I'm a successful executive at fucking Morgan Lynch or whatever. I make more money than my husband, but I want him to give me child support because of the Nona law. And you're like, you're not a Nona. We gotta revamp these laws. They weren't based on you. You're a fucking liar.
The whole thing with that support and alimony and all that stuff was based on the fact that women did a particular job. They had a role in a relationship. Take care of the house and the kids. It wasn't a role that you could then take, if you don't have a husband, out into the business world and make a success of yourself.
There's executive women getting money from their husbands.
Yeah, that made sense back then. Now, with all them clamoring to be in the business world, they want to be in the male-dominated workplace, break that glass ceiling, dude. Well, now you're forfeiting that. Now you can support yourself. You've sacrificed being the woman that takes care of the house, the husband, and the kids to become a business executive or whatever the hell you are. And why the fuck should a man have to pay anything to you? It doesn't make sense. They pick and choose what they want to be liberated from.
Yes.
They don't want to be liberated from a man paying them a fuckload of money every month.
Yeah. What a fucking joke.
So if you enjoyed that clip,
then subscribe to Compound Censored using this promo code.